Okay, perfect. Okay, so we are so excited to officially kick this off. My name's Abby, and then I'm with Audrey, with Jen on this call, and then I also co-lead our new coach mentorship with Rachel Mitchell. So if you are one of Rachel's coaches, that's who I am, but she's on vacation today. So Rachel and I are both elite coaches, and we both love Jesus, and we train our teams very similarly, so we share the coaching trend. So we're going to jump in today and really go over what coaching is all about. I love, this is kind of our mission statement for what we do, and I love that we get to help women live healthy and fulfilling lives and their calling, and really providing health and fitness training that is biblically centered, that's pointed on the Lord first, I think is so important. So we really like to do that. And this is truly your checklist of success. What I love about coaching is the most important work that we do is on ourselves. I think so many people are worried when they join something like this that they're going to be spammy or salesy, and there's totally those fears, but truly it's just sharing your journey. It's just sharing the process that you are going through and getting healthier and stronger from the inside out. And so really the very first thing that we do is just ourselves. So we get to know the products, right? We don't want to talk about things that we don't love and use and get results on ourselves. We love them. We share it just like, and we'll talk more about this, but just like you would share a restaurant that you love or a great deal that you found, you're just sharing things that are working for you. We get to actually help people do the work. And I think this is one of the things that really sets Beachbody apart, is that our job begins when the sale is made. That's when our work really starts. And then we allow those people to spread that ripple effect as they start getting those results, to truly link arms with them and bring in new coaches just like you guys are here to help change their lives, which is AKA building a team. So there's a whole lot of resources in this company, almost so many to the point where it can feel a little bit overwhelming. And so I think it's important that you know where they're at, but also to know that just like anything new, any new job you start, any new class you take, anything, there is going to be a learning curve. So give yourself the grace of a little bit of overwhelm and know that as you go, it will get easier. So the Coach Online office, if you guys haven't been in there yet, your very first coach checklist is truly to kind of start that process. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. We have our team pages and our calls. As new coaches, where you really need to be focused is our new coach mentorship page. That is where Rachel and myself and the other leaders will be really coming in and giving you guys specific tasks and training for new coaches. So while you're in our larger team pages, don't get overwhelmed by those yet. There's the Team Beachbody Champions page on Facebook. This is a gold mine of resources for you guys. You can request to join it. It looks like, let me pull it up here if I can find it, just so you guys can see it. But all of, it would help if it pulled up here. Hold on. All of the top coaches are in here. Corporate does training in here. So like Megan Davies was in here doing a whole training on stuff. You can search out, apparently it's not, there we go. You can search out if you're struggling with Instagram, for instance. You can go search Instagram or adding to your network, and it'll pop up in here. So this is just a real goldmine of stuff that other leaders are putting together and corporate is running. So that's really, really helpful. YouTube and Google, the best things ever. When I was a new coach, I would literally, even though my coach was amazing, I would literally at night sit down and be like, how to use Instagram for Beachbody, and type things like that into the search bars. But a lot of top coaches have so many pre-recorded trainings or resources for you that really can be your best starting point. Beachbody FAQs, if you have questions about specific formulas or test groups or anything, that's all in there. And then on Mondays at 10 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time, we have our national wake-up call, which is a weekly training call that corporate puts out, highlighting either different coaches in the network who are having success, different things that are launching, things like that. That's helpful. I honestly don't usually listen to these live, to be perfectly honest. I will go back and listen to them later, but they're very, very helpful. So you are going to hear, as a new coach, the 4 vital behaviors talked about a lot. These are the secret to success. This is like your the secret code, and it's nothing secret. It's truly just the things that we already talked about. So being proof the products work. You can't have success in this business if you are not getting results yourself, if you are not loving things yourself. So do your workout and drink your shake. And I've really noticed, like, if I slack off in my nutrition, if I am not really committed to my own growth, I tend to not share as boldly or authentically because I feel a little bit insecure. So really just showing up for yourself first. Point number 2 is the one that freaks everybody out. And this is share, connect, invite, and follow up. I know that's scary. I know that's the one that makes everyone want to vomit a little bit, but it's truly just sharing your story, starting conversations, talking to people like they're normal people, and inviting them to join you. And we're going to talk about what that looks like. Personal development is one of those things that I absolutely did not do as a new coach. It was 10 minutes a day. And I remember being told to do this. And I just like, I read my Bible, like I'm good. I'm a happy person. But I will tell you, when I started implementing personal development in, quite honestly, about a year into my business, it changed so much for me. So I always recommend new coaches start out with a book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. You can get it on Amazon. I should have grabbed it out here in my room right now, but it is such a great book, honestly, for anything in life, for your marriage, for parenthood, for anything. It looks like this, $12.99, and it has been one of the best reads. It's one that I come back to almost yearly as a coach, just in my mindset and how I approach the small things in life that add up to those big things. And those are the behaviors that will really set you apart. So if you are busy, when I was working full time, I would put my headphones in at work if I could, or driving to work. It's one of those things that you can fit in. Sometimes when I'm in the shower, I'll turn it on or listen to it while I'm working out if you don't have time to sit and read. But this kind of development, aside from your normal things that you like to do for growth, but really pursuing kind of business leadership mindset growth, is really helpful. And then getting people results. That's the fun part, is get yourself results, get your customers results, get your coaches results, and then celebrate those every little victory. When someone messaged me that they are down 4 pounds, or they were able to have self-control at a family gathering, or, ate the cake and it didn't send them spiraling for 3 weeks, I share those things. I celebrate them. I message them back. I will share them on my Instagram feed, cover their name out, and shout out those wins, because those are big things and it matters a lot. So the very first thing that you are going to commit to is your start date for your own fit club, challenge group, boot camp, whatever you want to call it. You can either host your own group, you can team up with your coach, or you can add your first challengers into my or Rachel or your upline coaches group, depending on what you're doing and how you've talked about it with them. So we have all the resources for that in our team pages. You don't have to know exactly what to do to begin with, but that will be step 1, is committing to something. If you have not started one yet, definitely reach out to your upline coach, because this is something that will be very clear as you invite of hey, my group is starting in 2 weeks. I would love to have you join. So absolutely connect with her. And this is an example of a post that I actually did, and I like to write a lot, so I get a little bit wordy, but this would be an example of talking about my challenge group. So it's an invite post. I was sharing this was postpartum with my daughter, and I was sharing my week 2 progress photos from Shift Shop, actually, or Lift 4, I think. And I talk about, hey, if you're ready to make a change from the inside out, you want a plan that's doable and doesn't restrict you, workouts that are fun, a community of supportive friends, and internal growth, this just might be for you. My August boot camps are filling up. Drop an emoji and I can share with you all the info. So I talk about that, but before that, I'm talking about why I'm so passionate and what it's doing. It's not just hey, I worked out today, but I'm really trying to add value and share my story. So that's what we're going to work with you guys on, is truly just sharing your story in those ways. As a new coach, your first goal is going to be to help 3 people get started with a program and Shakeology, or the Performance Line, aka a challenge pack. Now, one of the things that's really important to know about Beachbody, and it's great about it, is there are no requirements. You can simply be a coach just for the discount. You can be a coach, what's a hobby coach, where maybe you're not actively leading groups, but your girlfriend or your mom or your sister wants to kind of work out with you. And so you plug them into something your coach is doing, and maybe you earn a commission here and there, but you're not actively building a business. There's no requirements for coaching, but if you are serious about business building and you are very goal-oriented, this is a benchmark that is very important for you to understand. And it's one of those things that as a new coach, it's kind of the easiest thing to focus on. So your goal every month is going to be to help 3 new people get started. And when you kind of break it down, I can think of 3 people a month that I can help, and it's not a big deal. So this is one of those goals that when I first started as a coach, my coach told me, Abby, if you're serious about a business, this is a non-negotiable. And so for 5 years, I have never not helped 3 people get started. This has been a benchmark that is just what I do. And if you're a working coach, this is what you do. So the first people who are going to join you are the people who already know, like, and trust you. Your friends and family, your warm market people, people who know you in real life most likely and know, that you're not insane and trust your heart and your intentions. And then we will work with you on growing your cold market, on expanding your Instagram or your Facebook connections and working on that. But for me, and we'll kind of get into this in further on new coach mentorship calls, but for me, most people who are cold market follows, it takes them 3 to 9 months to join something that I'm talking about, even though I'm very consistent on my social media. So my first challengers were my roommate from college, a girlfriend from college, and my dad actually jumped in. He was like, I want to lose some weight. So those are the people who were my first people, and I loved that. One of the important things about Success Club too is if you are goal-oriented, I am someone who loves prizes. I love recognition, and Beachbody does a great job of that. If you hit it 3 out of your first 6 months, there's a few fun things that happen. You earn what's called Success Starters. So you earn your free ticket to Summit. Our Coach Summit is actually supposed to be next week in New Orleans, and I am so sad that I'm not headed there this weekend because it's one of the best events of the year, and I'm an introvert. So saying that it says a lot, but it's an incredible event. So earning that for free, it's a $300+ value, is a huge deal. You will also earn a spot. You'll be able to have a spot in an upcoming test group for a new program releasing. So I had 2 coaches who were in the MBF test group, and I got to watch them go through it, specifically with Megan Davies one-on-one. Get their results, learn the program before. So that's a really fun perk that wasn't around when I first started as a coach, where you can actually be in these test groups with super trainers before anybody else. And then the last one is hitting it all year earns you a free trip. So every year that I've been a coach, I have earned free vacations for my family just by helping 3 people a month every month. So the last one we did was going to on a cruise in the Bahamas, and it was incredible. I got to take my kiddos and my husband and just treat them to something we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And so things like that are really, really fun. So your first invites, and we are going to get into this actually in about a week or 2 more on our new coach calls, but this is you're just a conversation expert, right? So my goal always, especially as a new coach, juggling working full-time and kids, was just to connect with 3 new people a day or 20 people a week. Sometimes your day gets crazy, so maybe you don't get to it, but you're kind of having a rough number. And if you think about it, if you've connected with 3 people a day for a month, you've talked to about 90 people, which is incredible. And so it's just reaching out. You're not reaching out to close sales. You're just reaching out to open the door. You're going to be brief. You're not going to word vomit. You're going to ask them questions about their goals. You are going to slow down and recognize that people will have objections. They're going to have questions about their process, and you're tailoring it to their needs. And so we're going to talk you guys through this whole process more in depth, but I wanted to put this on your radar now. We have scripts to use. We have lots of resources for you, but it's really important that you are yourself. You talk about it in your own voice. Don't just send them your Beachbody link and ask them to go shop online. Don't be afraid of talking about the cost, and actually just follow up with them. So what I would recommend you doing is, in these first conversations that we'll talk about, connect with your coach as you go through them if you need help, and let her or myself help you with those conversations as people have questions, because that's what we're here for, is to help you kind of figure out how to talk about it. Because when I first started, I totally word vomited on people, and it was so bad. So one of the things too that I think is really important is, while we talk about Success Club being important, and it is, some people maybe can't afford that, or maybe they aren't ready, or you fill in the blank. We still want to help them with something, right? So there are so many other tools that we have in our toolkit. They can get just a month of Shakeology if they're just really wanting to focus on nutrition. Maybe McDonald's drive-thru is killing them and they need something fast. They can do a quarterly membership to Beachbody On Demand. There's a nutrition kit. They can just get energized. Maybe they're chugging Monster energy drinks every afternoon, right? You are going to earn 25% commissions on all products. So you will still get paid for everything. And so it's just important to know that it's not like challenge pack or bust. We still have tools, but I am always very committed to leading with what I think is kind of the total solution of talking about nutrition and workouts and all of the things. So just know we have a lot of things for you guys to help them with. Emerald rank, and we're going to kind of dive into this more, but as new coaches, I think it's really important to start and just put on your radar is if you are a working coach, which hopefully you are if you're listening to this call, Emerald rank is your very first goal. I do have to shout out Jen, who's on this call, because she's been a coach for like a week and a half and hit it, not really even knowing what she's doing. So I'm so proud of you. So all of you guys are active coaches, if you're most likely. You signed up, yay, you're here. Our goal is to move you to this next rung on the ladder, which is called Emerald, within your first 30 days. And the reason for that is it really unlocks the other layer of Beachbody's compensation plan. So you have your actual commissions that you get paid, but then we also have bonuses. We have free leads. So if you sign up as a coach, you hit Success Clubs, you help 3 people, you're an Emerald coach, you're gonna get leads all the next month, which are people who sign up just randomly online, and Beachbody assigns them a coach. And so you can connect with them. They may or may not respond back. A lot of my leads, to be honest, don't, but I am there to help them. They do hear from me every month, and I do get commission from their purchases, which is really, really awesome. The next step is Ruby. A lot of people skip this one. I actually didn't, but most coaches do. And then Diamond is really your first big goal. So this is where we'll want you to be within your first 6 months, 6 to 9 months as a coach, if you're working on building a business. But your very first step is just Emerald, and we will help you get there. I just wanted to put that on your radar. And this is really, especially for you guys who like breakdowns, this is what it looks like to hit Success Club for 3 months. If you just do that, those 3 people, you're gonna earn just under $800 is what you're looking at in terms of commission. And obviously, if you're helping more people than that or anything like that, it will be more. But I think it's important to know, you know, your first paychecks, I got paid 3 weeks into coaching. My first paycheck was $50. And I was so excited. I was thrilled. I'm like, man, that was awesome. And so it didn't start out big, but as I continued to show up, as I continued to get people results, as I continued to become more confident in sharing my story and my journey, that continued to grow and grow to the point where 2.5 years in, I matched my full-time salary and was able to come home and do this from home, which is the biggest blessing in the world. So my goal, Rachel's goal, you know, your coach's goal, we're never going to force you to, if you don't want to quit your job, you don't have to. I know not everybody has as big of goals as we do, but whatever it is for you and your family that's important, whether that's covering groceries or daycare or helping you quit your job or whatever that is, we want to be here to help you with that. And this can truly be such an avenue of blessing. The way that the business is set up is it starts small and it grows. So as you continue to show up, you're going to see that snowball effect really start to happen. So on the social media aspect, and our call next week, we are going to dive into all things social media training. But this very first one is just thinking. So this is my Instagram feed actually is not this pretty right now. I should get back to it. And then this is Rachel's. But if you look at our feeds, if you look at other coaches' feeds, we are coaches, but that's not all we share. You know, Rachel, she's from the South. She's a boy mom. She loves home decor. Like, you're going to see her talk about those things in her social media feed. For me, my kids are younger. I love Kate Middleton. I love history. I'm kind of a hot mess. I love cooking. Like, you're going to see that in my feed. Audrey is the queen of meal prep. Like, Autumn and Beachbody shout her out on their social media pages. It's astounding. And so if you look on Audrey's page, you're going to see a lot of tutorials, a lot of nutrition focus, a lot of stuff like that. And so we all have different areas that we really kind of go to. And so as a coach, I want you to think about all the things that make you you. So write down 5 or 10 things that you love and think about, what would your friends call you for advice on? What is the favorite show that you watch? What is your hobby that you love? And share about those things too. People can go buy Beachbody online. So when they connect with you, they're connecting, yes, with the tools and resources that you have to offer, but most specifically, the person behind those things, which is you. They're connecting with your story. So let them get to know you. I don't ever want to see you guys just holding up a bag of something. I don't ever want to see you guys just posting a sweaty selfie and being like, got my workout in. That's like, cool, goody for you. But like, think of how can you let people get to know you? You know, maybe your kids were climbing all over you that day, or maybe it was a really hard day, or, you know, whatever, and kind of take people on that journey with you. So your posts are going to be daily life. Workout clips. I personally like to share most about my workout in my stories. I usually do 1 to 3 workout clips a day in my stories. So not every post on my feed is a sweaty selfie, but I'm talking about daily life, my devotionals, what I'm eating, my kids, things like that. Product use, creating interest or excitement. So don't be spammy. And Jen asked yesterday, we were on a call, she's like, can I never show the labels? It's like, no, you can. But oftentimes people, and like I do this, I'll see someone using something and then I'll just go on Amazon and find it for myself. So create some interest, you know, if you're talking about, like for me, my kids don't sleep and I don't like coffee, I'll get you some ham in a minute. Go watch Cinderella with Bubba. So when I talk about energize, of like I'm going on, you know, day 3 of not really sleeping, I love that this is clean. I love that it gives me 100 milligrams of caffeine without a crash, and it's been a lifesaver for mom life. So I'm kind of creating some interest instead of just being like, energize, it's the best. People will reach out and ask me. Healthy meal prep is a great one. I'm going to just, because Audrey's on this call, I'm just going to pull up your Instagram, Audrey, because I love it. Hers is a great one for kind of ideas there. And one thing that Audrey does really, really well in this is if you look at her, you'll be like, holy cow, she is amazing. But what I know about her and what she shares very frequently in her stories is that she didn't know how to boil water when she got married. Nutrition was not a strong suit. So she really took her mess and turned it into her message of empowering people and letting people learn along with her. And now you look at her page and you're like, wow, this is amazing. So that's something that she really highlights. And when you go to her page, you're going to see meal prep and meal plans and all sorts of stuff. And she's incredible. For me, I like meal prep, but like I am super passionate with coaching about the confidence and personal growth. So on my page, you're going to see food highlighted, but probably not as much as talking through mindset and body confidence. So we all have these different things. And that's what I really love about coaching is you're able to take your story and what you're passionate about and the things that you love. So that's what you're going to be sharing is just you. So instead of just getting your workout done, maybe think, okay, what were my favorite 3 moves? I'm going to record those and go post them on my Instagram stories. Or as I'm creating maybe a quick lunch for my kids, just snapping a quick photo and be like, here's what my kids are eating today. You know, they love bell peppers and cucumbers. If your kids hate veggies, that might be a good try. Just think of like, how can you share stuff with them? This is super embarrassing, and actually I'm coming up on some of my very first posts on Facebook that I made as a coach, like in the memories. And it's just like, I like roll my eyes and die a little bit. They're so bad. But this was one of my very first Facebook posts. It's guys, it's so spammy. It's everything you don't want to do. It's awful text. It looks salesy. Yes, my transformation is there. They got 3 likes. One of them was like my mom. It's such a bad post. And I still have people sign up with me. But this post of Rachel's is a really great example where this picture is light, bright, it's eye-catching. It's something that grabs your attention. In her text, as I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, yes, I'm totally, like this is a coach recruiting post, but totally resonating with. So your social media, guys, like I said at the beginning, if this is something new for you, it is going to be rough, right? You are going to have to learn the angles that you like to take photos in. For instance, our house is super, super dark. It doesn't have a lot of natural light. So a lot of my photos are done in front of our garage because that's where it looks a little better. So you kind of learn what works for you. You learn how to say things. And if you are at all overwhelmed about posting, you have to give yourself the diligence of showing up consistently. When I first started this business, and we'll talk about this more on our social media call, Instagram stories and stuff like that weren't really a thing. And the way the algorithm worked on social media was you had to actually make a post, an actual post 3 to 5 times a day, which is so many posts. And it was so overwhelming. And I did it, but I remember it was 6 months into coaching where I wrote something and it didn't feel hard. It literally was like, it just kind of, the words just flowed. And so that was 6 months in. So now I would recommend 1 post a day. on your feed, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. With Facebook, you could do 2. It kind of does, that one's a little different, but be in your stories. So that's all you need is like 1 quality post and some stories, and you will get better. So just like our fitness journeys, kind of on that note, your business journey is the same thing, right? You don't start eating healthy and the next day have a 6-pack. It's the same thing in this business. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to track it to see success. Just like in your fitness journey, you got to track your weights, you got to track your water, you got to pay attention to what you're putting in your body or how much you're working out. In this business, one of the big keys, and you're going to see, let me actually pull it up for you guys, in our new coach training, and you should have gotten this as well in some of your getting started emails from your coach, but your business activity tracker is what you kind of live and die and breathe by. And this is one of those things. I'm just going to pull it up for you here. This is in the Beachbody back office, but this is what like I live by, and it has a time check where it's like, okay, did I add followers? Did I do a social media post? Did I respond to comments? Like, and this kind of a tracker, like if you do these things, guys, your business will grow. So those are those vital behaviors that we talked about. Success is going to be twofold. So the fitness and nutrition wins in your Beachbody coaching business. You're going to have the public wins, like, hey, you hit emerald or whatever. And then you're going to have the private wins where maybe you got really bold on social media or you were consistent, just those little small things that are really worth celebrating. With workouts, as soon as you stop, results get farther away. I don't know if you guys have ever, I'm not really a runner. There you go. I have really bad knees, but I used to run, and I remember getting like the flu and trying to run again and like just dying at like mile 1 when before, a week before I could have cranked out a lot more. It's just like this with coaching. When you stop, that momentum is so hard to regain. So I would so much rather you take imperfect action daily, even if you don't get everything done on that tracker, even if you feel like your social media post bombed or whatever, still showing up and failing forward will keep you moving forward. Even if it's imperfect, even if you only had 5 minutes that day, you showed up with everything you had for those 5 minutes. That is all we're asking of you, is to just be committed and own it in your life. This is something that we don't want this to dominate your life. And we're going to talk about time management a little bit more in an upcoming call. We want this to work around your family. So for me, if I only have an hour to work my business a day, I'm going to be diligent, I'm going to be committed, and I'm going to make sure that that hour that I'm spending either staying up a little bit later or my kids are watching a show or something and I'm not getting something else done at home, that I'm going to maximize and honor that time. So just keep going. Comparison is a thief of joy in everything, right? Like, how many times have you walked by a checkout stand and even though it's airbrushed, it still makes you feel insecure or whatever. In this business, because it is a very heavily social media based business, it can be really easy to look around and feel less than, to feel like your posts aren't as good or your writing wasn't as good, or hey, I know she started at the same time as me and now she's all the way here and I'm still stuck here. Guys, put on your blinders and run your own race, right? She doesn't have the same issues that you do in your life and you don't know what hers are. And on social media, even when we're authentic, we do still tend to go towards the highlight reel. And so run your own race, put on your own blinders, and just be consistent with your own life and don't overcomplicate it. This works if you work it. And it's so easy as coaches to overcomplicate this business when truly it is just those vital behaviors of get yourself results, share it publicly, connect with other people, and help them get results. That's all it is. And all of the training and understanding of the compensation plan and the Instagram algorithm and all of those things, that will come in time, and they're constantly changing anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But it's just being committed to the simplicity of consistently sharing your own journey and connecting with other people and helping them do the same. So Success Club, just kind of coming back to that really quick. This is a quick graphic on that. So Challenge Pack, Shakeology, Boost, anything that totals 90 PV points that is a consumable product will allow you to earn Success Club points. So if someone orders 3 boxes of Beach Bars, that counts. If someone just wants all the Shakeology boosts, like there's like a greens one and I don't actually use all of them, so I can't tell them off the top of my head. But all of these things will count. And so this is what we're kind of talking about here, and you'll see this more in the page as we go through. And then if you're a brand new coach, you are going to have been given 3 promo codes. If you just signed up, you would have gotten 3 promo codes. If you don't see that, let us know, for $10. These are they're for challenge packs specifically, so you cannot use them just for any product. So what I would recommend doing with them is a couple things. Share publicly that you're looking for your first 3 people to join you. That you're committing to a program and you're so excited for Muscle Burns Fat, you know, and you would love 3 people to do this with you for extra accountability. So talk about that. Ask your best friend or girlfriend to do this with you. Just be like, oh my gosh, I'd love the accountability. Do you want to do this with me? I can get you $10 off. Like, actually go save it for someone who you know would really be blessed and benefited by that. And the other one is enrolling your spouse as a coach is really huge for your business. Because having, and we can get into this more a little bit later, but having, especially if you're building a business, having your spouse be one of your first coaches that you sign up is really important. I know, that's so silly. It is, it's so silly. It's really important for volume and residual income coming in later. And so for me, I enrolled Ben with a nutrition course. And it was way back when stuff was on DVD and PiYo. I joked with him about PiYo because it's like yoga and stuff, but he's not a yoga guy. But now, because of where he is in my business, his account earns somewhere between $200 and $500 a week because he was one of my first coaches that I signed up. And I'm able to have a second business center that I can control. So using that $10 on your spouse is very nice. I know, that's so silly. Sorry, they're watching Cinderella. So we can talk about this more later, but I just wanted to put that bug in your ear about how you can use those things. But I think just making sure that you do use them, that you reach out to people, and it's a great way as well to say like, hey, I know we chatted. I have those $10 off. I would love to give it to you. If you're not ready to commit, could you let me know? Because I'd love to make sure that I can give this to the next person who's interested. So you're truly maximizing those. So what now is printing off some trackers if you are a pen and paper girl, or you can go into your back office. It is in, let me go in here for you guys and show you exactly where they are. You don't need to be in my, okay. So if you go into your back office to the training tab, there's a lot of things in here, guys. There's stuff on bod groups. There's all sorts of things, but the Success Club system, if you click in here, after it has you sign in again, sorry. I keep logged in here a lot and it always signs me out. The training tab in this has a lot of good stuff as well. And we'll get into more stuff that's specific, but just for general business stuff. So there is the Success Club System Activity Tracker right here. So you can actually pull it up and it's a fillable PDF online, or you can print these off. I know Rachel got 52 printed off, one for every week of the year, and she just took it to like Staples and had them bind it for her. And so she just has the album she flipped through. I know some girls who print one off and stick it in like a little laminated sleeve. You can just write it on there, but this really helps you kind of stay accountable to those daily behaviors. So we're gonna ask you to do that. Commit to your program, know what workout you're doing, drink your shake, to your personal development, order the Slide Edge. And then just start sharing. Don't wait until you're ready or you've done with training. We will continue to train you, but it's so much more important that you just start taking action because people relate to the journey so much more than the destination. And I know a lot of coaches are nervous because maybe they don't have their goals yet. Maybe they haven't got that transformation yet, or you just feel a little bit insecure. But truly starting where you're at and letting people see that messy middle in between is so much more relatable. It is so much more relatable to see the mom who's, you know, working to lose the baby weight and her kids are climbing all over her. You're trying to juggle. I'm watching Jen do her laundry. I love that. Like, that's how I run my business. It's those kinds of things that make stuff like this feel doable, because you can look and be like, okay, if she can do this, I can too. So don't wait until you have the perfect Instagram filters, or you feel like you've mastered hashtags or anything like that. Just start where you're at and we'll kind of work with you on there. If you haven't made your coach announcement post, definitely do that. And in the document that is pinned to the top of our new coach mentorship training, as well as should have been emailed to you, this I'm a Coach Now What, there is some really good links to some examples of new coach posts and things like that. So you can, our expectations for you, I think I need to update the calls because we're not doing this at night anymore, is to show up for an hour a day to build your business. For me, a lot of times that's late at night or in little 15-minute pockets. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Share your tracker in our group, show up for these new coach calls. They'll always be recorded as well. Be willing to fail forward and hit Success Club and, you know, start working on those goals of help. Like, who are those first 3 people going to be that you're going to help? And I just talked for a long time. And I know a lot of the new coaches are going to be listening to this recording, but are there any questions or Audrey, is there anything that you would add that I didn't cover? I can unmute you. Oh, wait. Maybe you have to unmute yourself.
Sorry, my kids are like fighting over the, like, screaming at each other over in the corner. I think just just to reinforce what you said, like, not feeling like you have to have it all figured out when you're first starting. Like, so seeing is like where we already are, and it's a year in the making. It's 5 years in the making, and I think that can be a little bit defeating sometimes. But just like, if we could be able to go back and be like, this is where I started, like, that's not where I started. And so you have to give yourself that grace, just learn and be okay growing where you're planted and not letting it be something that you feel like you just can't do because of where you're starting at. So yeah, I think I just reinforced that like what they're seeing, what you guys are seeing, where you're starting is exactly where me and Abby started. And the difference is where you guys are going and where we've been is we just didn't quit, and we kept going, and we kept failing and learning and making adjustments, and we're still doing that at different levels in our business. And you only get there by starting from scratch.
Amen. Jen, I know you haven't just be the only coach on tonight today. Do you have anything? I know we've chatted kind of one-on-one, but is there anything that you have questions on?
I did come up because you mentioned signing up your husband as a coach right away.
Yeah.
So if I already have coaches under me at this point, is it critical that I do that for myself?
No, I still would recommend signing him up sooner than later, but it's really important. Well, I mean, not going to ruin your business, so I'll say that, but having him in there before a working coach is very helpful. So before you get someone who wants to work the business and sign them up, I would definitely sign your spouse up, because just the way volume works, you want them above all of them.
Okay.
Audrey, you waited a little bit to sign up Josh. I mean, I signed up Ben my second month as a coach.
Yeah, so I signed up Josh before I signed up. Like, when I had like my next coach that was going to sign up, like I had me and then I had my first coach that signed up. Before I signed up the next person, I signed up my husband. So then I had 3 people really, because I had the one person I started with, I had my husband on like my other leg, and then before I sent the share link to the next gal I signed up, I signed him up, which just worked out because I knew at that point I was getting momentum going, and that's when I decided to sign him up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right now I just have like
different
coaches with me. So, but do it probably this month then, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're fine right now because the girls you have are just, getting the discount, and that's totally fine. But I definitely, like, if you start building some momentum pretty quickly, or you have anyone who's interested in the business, I would definitely just sign him up. And we can chat about, there's a few different ways you can get him started. I think I took my first paycheck and I used it to get Ben started, but it was my second month in the business when I signed him up. So
I ended up doing like a Shakeology. Wait, excuse me. Sorry. This is how this works. Anyways, what I did is I signed Josh up with I did a 3-day refresh.
You're frozen, Audrey.
Oh, sorry. Am I still frozen?
No, you are, but I can hear you. Oh, no, you're not.
Okay. There we go. So what I did was I signed Josh up with a 3-day refresh challenge pack. And then I got the commission from that. I got some Shakeology, and then I ended up promoting 3-day refresh. So I ended up selling more 3-day refresh challenge packs because it just kind of was 2 birds with 1 stone. So I always recommend people do 3-day refresh challenge packs.
Yeah. And the nice thing with it too is that for me, like anything that I purchase that is not my 90 PV. So I have my Shakeology, but if I wanted to try Energize or Beach, like anything else that I buy, I run it through my husband's account because it's the same price. It's 25, it's the same discount, but it drives volume, which means, and you don't have to understand this yet, but it means that my business cycles off of it. So I actually earn some extra commission. Almost paying, I'm double dipping a little, like I'm getting a discount, but I'm earning a little bit of commission back from my own purchase. So if you are ordering anything else, it's definitely worth your spouse being a coach. So Ben does not actively work the business. He is a coach, and I tease him sometimes. I'm like, dude, you really need to level up. Like your team's falling apart. Like, but it's really helpful because he does completely understand the way he's a finance guy. So he gets the business side. He totally helps me with it. And then if I ever sign anyone up under him, I just say like, hey, it's my husband's and it's our family business, and I'm your coach. You're just going to see Ben Burgess listed, but you're with me. And everyone's like, cool. So we can totally cross that bridge when we get there, but that's a really good question.
Okay.
Anything else?
That was the main question that popped into my head from.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and post this recording starting tomorrow. You guys are going to see Rachel or myself or Audrey, I'll message you. We have some leader stuff we can sign up for, posting in our little new coach group, and we will go from there. Let me take a quick, can I do a boomerang? Is that fine? Is that fun? Let me see here. Because, you know, if we don't post it on social media, it doesn't happen. Okay. Okay, maybe like wave or just something. We'll do 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, that wasn't a boomerang. Fail. Failure. Sorry. Oh, gosh.
Doing laundry.
I know. No, I love it. You should do that. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So good. Okay, I'll tag you guys. Thank you for being on this morning. And we will talk really soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.